stage 4, paragraph page 332. Last headword was hurt, newer type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready? What's the past tense of the verb speak? What's the past tense of the verb speak? The past tense of the verb speak is spoke. Did you speak with any of your friends yesterday? Did you speak with any of your friends yesterday? Yes, I spoke with some of my friends yesterday. Did Kate drink any juice at Sophie's house yesterday? Did Kate drink any juice at Sophie's house yesterday? Yes, Kate drank some juice at Sophie's house yesterday. Kate drank some juice at Sophie's house yesterday. Very good. Why did you come here today? Why did you come here today? I came here today to learn English. Very good. What present did your parents give you for your birthday last year? What presents did your parents give you last year? My parents gave me a horse for my birthday last year. Gave you a horse? Okay, very good. Okay. Did we stand up after the last lesson? Did we stand up after the last lesson? Yes, we stood up after the last lesson. Okay. Did they run in any races at school last year? Did they run at any races at school last year? Yes, they ran in some races at school last year. Did I write anything on this piece of paper at the beginning of the lesson? Did I write anything on this piece of paper last lesson? Yes, you wrote something on that piece of paper last lesson. Last lesson. Okay, did we read our Callan for Kids book last month? Did we read our Callan for Kids books last month? Yes or no? Yes, we read our Callan for Kids lesson books last month. What did I hold in my hand last lesson? What did I hold in my hand last lesson? You held your pen in your hand last lesson. Last lesson. What bag did you take home with you after the last lesson? Whose bag did you take home with you after the last lesson? I took my bag home with me after the last lesson. Did you draw any pictures in your art lesson at school last month? Did you draw some pictures in your art school last month? Yes, I draw some pictures in my art lesson last month. Did they sat on the floor last lesson? Did they sat on the floor last lesson? No, they didn't sat on the floor last lesson. They sat on their chairs. Did I say hello to you at the end of the last lesson? Did I say hello to you at the end of the last lesson? Yes, you said hello to me at the end of the last lesson. At the end of the last lesson. Okay, very good. Did you wear a suit and tie in bed last night? Did you wear a suit and tie in bed last night? No, I didn't wear a suit and tie in bed last night. I wore pajamas in bed last night. Did you go home in an airplane after the last lesson? Did you go home in an airplane after the last lesson? No, I didn't go home in an airplane last lesson. I went home by walking. Did you get up early this morning? Did you get up early this morning? Yes or no? Yes, I got up early this morning. Do you ever promise to do something and then forgot to do it? Do you ever promise to do something and then forgot to do it? Yes or no? Yes, I sometimes promise to do something and forgot to do it. Yes, I sometimes promise to do something and forgot to do it. Do your parents always do everything they promise to do? Do your parents always do everything they promise to do? Yes, my parents always do everything they promise to do. Very good. Tell me two things we say a lot when we want to be polite. Tell me two things we say a lot when we want to be polite. Two things we say a lot when we want to be polite are please and thank you. Is it polite to point at people and laugh at them? Is it polite to point at people and laugh at them? No, it isn't polite to point at people and laugh at them. It's impolite. Which is more polite to say I want or I'd like? Which is more polite to say I want or I'd like? It's more polite to say I'd like than I want. Give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. I'd like to go home now. I like a bowl of cereal. I'd like a pet dog for my birthday. Can you have a simple conversation with me in English? Can you have a simple conversation with me in English? Yes, I can have a simple conversation with you in English. In English. In English. In English. Okay, how can we have a conversation with a friend in another town? How can we have a conversation with a friend in another town? We can have a conversation with you in English. Okay. If two adults are having a conversation and you want to ask questions, what's the polite thing to say first? If two adults are having a conversation and you want to ask a question, what's the polite way to things to say first? If I want to ask some questions with adults who are having a conversation, it's polite to say, excuse me first. Give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. Excuse me, may I have an apple, please? Very good. Next, have you got any horrible friends? Have you got any horrible friends? No, I haven't got any terrible friends. I haven't got any terrible friends. Very good. Okay, do you ever say horrible things to people when you're angry? Do you ever say terrible things to people when you're angry? Yes, I sometimes say terrible things to people when I get angry. When I get angry. Very good. Next. Is it before or after midday at the moment? Is it before or after midday at the moment? It's before midday at the moment.
the moment.
Very good. Which meal do you eat before midday? Your breakfast, your lunch, or your dinner? Which meal do you eat before midday? Your breakfast, your lunch, or your dinner? I eat my breakfast before midday. Do you ever go to bed after midnight? Do you ever go to bed after midnight? Yes, I sometimes go to bed after midnight. Does very cold ice cream hurt your teeth? Does very cold ice cream hurt your teeth? Yes, very cold ice cream hurt my teeth. Does it hurt much if we fall over on soft grass? Does it hurt much when we fall over on soft grass? No, it doesn't hurt much if we fall over on soft grass.
Sad.
Very good. Is this a student's book? Is this okay? So that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word. Okay, so let's start now. Okay, repeat. Student, student. Very good. Okay, listen. A student is a person who studies, often older teenagers at school are called students instead of school children. Let's practice. Is this a student's book? Is this a student's book? Yes, it's a student's book. At 16 years old, are most people students or they work? At 16 years old, do most people students or do they work? At 16 years old, most people are students. Okay, next repeat. Had. Okay, very good. The past tense of the verb have is had. Okay, let's practice. What's the past tense of the verb have? What's the past tense of the verb have? The past tense of the verb have is had. What did I have in my hand last lesson? What did I have in my hand last lesson? You had a pen in your hand last lesson. Did you have a healthy breakfast this morning? Did you have a healthy breakfast this morning? Yes, I had a healthy breakfast this morning. What did I have in my hand last lesson? What did I have in my hand last lesson? You had a pen in your hand
In your
last lesson.
last
What did you
lesson.
have? What did you have? I had a book. Did we all have our books with us last lesson? Did we all have our books with us last lesson? No, we didn't all have our books with us last lesson. Okay, has she got any shoes on her feet yesterday? Has she got any shoes on her feet yesterday? Yes, she's got some shoes on her feet yesterday. Had they got hats on their heads last lesson? Had they got hats on their heads last lesson? No, they hadn't got any hats on their heads last lesson. Okay, next repeat. Leave. Okay, I leave home at 8 o'clock every morning to go to school. Let's practice. What time do you leave home every morning to go to school? What time do you leave home every morning to go to school? I leave home at 8 o'clock in the morning every morning to go to school. Do you leave your shoes in the classroom when you go home? Do you leave your shoes in the classroom when you go home? No, I don't leave my shoes in the classroom when I go home. I take them with me.
It's
What
great.
do we have to do to make toast? What do we have to do to make toast? Okay, repeat. Have to.